soils really has been a bit of a untapped resource in this whole evolution of the grains industry. And it's a pretty exciting time now in soils to see what potential there is to unlock and really sort of seeing this opportunity of what's sitting under the surface and can really expand on the potential of some of these production systems. And that's where it gets pretty exciting. So, and when we start matching those improved genetics, which are certainly improved, with then improving the soils, the sort of 1 + 1 = 5 kind of scenarios, which we're starting to see out in the industry. That's pretty amazing considering how much you feel like you're already throwing at a crop. And again, for me, that was going from that paddock focus or field focus to the zone focus. And it's like, no, it's not the whole field that's got that uplift. It's like this 30% has got another 30% to give. And that's where it's got really exciting. And seeing that sort of adoption of that technology and now doing a lot of the data support around that in that space has been not necessarily where I thought my focus would end up. And as we go forward, the conversation's really evolved around this whole carbon farming sort of piece, which I find a lot of the grain production systems still sort of default back to, we're talking about soil carbon again, which is such a key piece of the puzzle in agronomic production systems, but it's such a hard thing to manage, where with the sort of renewed focus in the sustainability space, a lot of the discussion is around what's called Scope 3 emissions. So a Scope 3 emission is an emission that a third-party business is trying to capture or understand, because their Scope 3 numbers are what they're having to start to report. So mandatory reporting is currently cutting in, which means that some of these businesses have to report their Scope 3 emission. What the farmers don't fully appreciate is their Scope 1 emissions. So the emissions that are happening on their own farm is a Scope 3 emission for a third-party business, someone down the supply chain.
I just want to make an observation. I think like you genuinely love what you do. This whole conversation, you've smiled the whole time that you've been talking about some really, I'll say, complex and technical areas, but you genuinely do love the work that you've found yourself doing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like no 2 days are the same. And I think even I've been very fortunate to work with some excellent growers at all ends of the scale and all ends of the rainfall isohyte range as well, right? And no two farms are the same. And even though they might be on the same soil types, the historical management is all like, there's so much to unpack, and the soils do tell such a story. And like I say, it's rewarding working with growers who are willing to have a bit of a crack, work with you on what you're looking at, and you get a bit of buy-in on both ways. And I learn from growers as much as they're learning from me. And I think that's what's sort of always sort of evolved over that time. And from that, like, it's led to some pretty amazing connections in ag. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to travel overseas, which has all generally been work related. But out of that work has been a lot of fun and key learnings from the US, South America, even ended up in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia working on a project over there.